What's up, Geeksters? It's me, Omar from geeksterlabs.com. How are you doing today, guys? Well, the product I'm going to be showing you is something that was sent to me free for review from Sennheiser, and today I have the Sennheiser Urbanite XL wireless Bluetooth over-ear headphones. And this is a very new pair of headphones. I just announced these, I believe, in January when we got to see them for the first time at CES, and so now they're available for purchase right now. So they sent me a pair. I've been using these for about a week straight. So I want to give you guys my thoughts on my impression on how my experience has been while using the Urbanite XLs. So first off, before we start talking about the headphones, let me go ahead and show you what comes inside the box. The first thing we have is the user guide and warranty information. So that's the paperwork that's included with the headphones. Next, we have a USB cable, and this is what we use to charge up the device. Since it is wireless, it doesn't need to be powered. So this is the USB cable you use to charge it up. And next we have the audio cable, which is a very nice flat wire audio cable. As you can see, one angle is a 90-degree angle and the other is a straight plug. The straight one is the one that actually locks into place in the headphones so it won't accidentally be pulled out. But keep in mind, this is a pair of wireless Bluetooth headphones, so you do not need to use the cord if you don't want to. But if you want to save a little bit of battery power, you can plug them in. And this does feature a microphone and a controller right there, so you can adjust the volume. And that's something that will work with Android devices and iOS devices. Next, we have a nice soft pouch, not very large, and it's pretty thin, so it's just basically going to do a good job of helping you make sure that your headphones don't get scratched up. You can keep all the cables and everything in here as well, and you can throw it in your backpack, and that's pretty much all that's going to be good for. And of course, we have the headphones themselves, so let's take a closer look at the Urbanite XLs. Alright guys, so before we get into all the features and start talking about sound quality, let's just talk about the build quality itself, okay? So this is a pair of $300 pair of headphones, over-ear headphones. So which is, there's a lot of headphones in that price bracket right there. And so the first thing I usually look for when I see a $300 pair of headphones is the build quality. And I have to say that the actual build quality of this headphones is very nice. They feel very solid, very well constructed. The hinges are very nice. They're made of metal. It has multiple types of materials. So we have the fabric on top. It's only available in black for the wireless ones. I believe there's a bunch of different colors if you just get the regular XLs, the plug-in ones. But if you want the wireless, they only currently come in this black. It has this nice silicone band right here, which is very comfortable. And you can see we have some metal, like some steel right here, some fabric. The ear cups themselves are made of plastic. Has these really nice velour ear pads right here, which are very comfortable. They don't get hot at all. Like I say, I use these at work for about a week straight, so I test them very thoroughly at work and listen to them for long periods of time. I didn't have any issues at all with it feeling like they were too hot or like my ears were getting sweaty or anything with these, because the velour pads are very nice, and it does a really good job of making sure there's no sound leakage whatsoever. So when I played them full blast next to my coworkers, they couldn't hear any of the music I was listening to. So if you like to commute a lot, if you're riding on a plane, on a bus, and you don't want people to hear the music or the movie or whatever that you're watching or listening to, I should say, there's very minimal sound leakage whatsoever. The ear pads that they're using with the foam inside do a really good job of that. So overall, the build quality definitely meets my expectations of what I would expect a $300 pair of headphones to be like. Now they do have some weight to them, not in a bad way though. They don't. I guess I should say they don't feel cheap, because some of the headphones I retail for that, they just feel like cheap plastic headphones. There is a little bit of circuitry in here for the Bluetooth aspect of them, so they're gonna be a little bit heavier than probably just the regular XLs. But for the most part, I was very pleased with the build quality, the overall build quality. So you can see they fold up very nicely, so they are slightly portable. You can put them in that pouch, easily carry them in your backpack. Now when it comes to some of the features of these headphones, as you can see, we have our switch right here on the side. So this is what you switch on for the Bluetooth. It actually has a voice prompt. Don't think you could hear it, but there's actually a voice prompt in it. It'll tell you how much battery life you have whenever you first turn it on. And I've already synced it up to my device, so they have the blue LED that'll glow every once in a while, let me know that it's connected. As you can see on the bottom right here, we do have the port for the USB, and we have also the microphone right there. So if you can't answer phone calls, you could take them, and that's where it'll pick up your voice. Really good microphone. Didn't have any issues with people not being able to hear me. One of the cool features of this, it does have touch controls on the side. So I left the sticker on there so you guys can see. So when you scroll up and when you scroll down, that raises and lowers the volume. When you tap it, that'll stop the song. When you double tap it, that'll skip to the next song. If you triple tap it, it'll go back to the previous song. So really intuitive, really easy to use. The only thing I did notice until I was really used to using them is whenever I would put my hands on them to put them on my head or take them off, I would accidentally be tapping it and playing the song, stopping the song. So it took me a little bit of time to realize where to put my hands to not continue tapping it or touching it. But once you get used to it, it's not really a big deal. And on the other side, we see if you do have an Android device, it does feature NFC, so you're going to easily sync up your phone to that very easily just by holding to that area right there, and you're good to go. So like I showed you earlier, that cable that is included with it, it does have the port right there to plug it in. There you go. So it locks into place, and now you won't be able to pull it off by accident, okay? So the cool thing about the cable is if you are, say you're on a plane, you run out of battery power, you're watching a movie, oh, you can't listen to them wirelessly, no problem. Pull out the cable, plug it in, you're good to go. You can still listen to all your audio on off your movie or your music or anything until you get a chance to charge them back up. The good thing about this, though, is that the battery built into the headphones actually lasts 25 hours, so you don't have to charge them up very often at all. I think that's probably, of all the headphones I've used that are Bluetooth, that's probably the most amount of time I've seen them holding the battery charge of 25 hours. There's another pair of headphones I retailed, I think that I reviewed a while back, that were 20 hours, which I thought was pretty impressive. So this will go a full, complete, over a day of just straight audio, which is really, really nice. Also, let me show you the cable here. Like I mentioned earlier, the cable can be used with Android devices and iOS devices, since it uses the slider volume instead of like the tap volume, so it will control both. And you can control the playback of the music with that single button. So you can tap it once to play, tap it twice to skip forward, or tap it once also to stop it. And then you also use that to answer phone calls, because it does feature a microphone on the back right there. You can probably barely see it, but there's a little hole right there for the mic. And this is a very nice cable. It's a flat wire cable, 90-degree angle plug, so it should fit pretty well. And if you have a case on your phone, hopefully that should be able to get in there pretty easily. No issues whatsoever. Now, when it comes to comfort, like I said, they do have a little bit of weight to them, but I never at all felt like they were too heavy, like they were bothering my head. Like I said, when I use this at work, I keep them on my head for hours on end, so because I want to do a really good job of making sure if you're on a flight that happens to be maybe a 4-hour flight, you'll be able to keep this pair of headphones on your head the entire flight, and it's not going to be bothering you. Your ears are not going to get hot, and that's exactly what I experienced with this headphones. So they're not too heavy. They're lightweight enough to where they don't feel like they're on top of your head and causing a lot of weight to be on there. The band itself is really comfortable, very nice. It's actually a pretty wide band, so if even for me, I have a really large head, so even for me, you can almost tell that it only touches your head about to right here. The other side pieces barely even touch your head, and then they get really big. They extend out really large, so I think they'll do a good job of any different types of size of heads, whether you have a small head or a large head. You should be good to go, and you should be just fine. So we've gone over some of the features and the build quality aspects and the comfort level and all that type of thing, but let's get into the most important facet when it comes to headphones, in my personal opinion, which is the sound quality. Okay guys, so now let's talk about sound quality. Now when it comes to sound quality with this pair of headphones, I was very pleased with it. They have a very good full sound. They don't sound thin at all. They obviously has very large drivers, so that would be the case. And so the highs and mids are the highs and bass, I should say, and lows are very, very good. And the bass, I think, the bass is not overpowering at all. I definitely think that the Urbanites have a little bit more bass than the Momentums from Sennheiser. So if you like to listen to a lot of hip hop and things like that, I would probably recommend checking out the Urbanites as opposed to the Momentums. But so even though the highs and the bass are really good, the mids are definitely not neglected at all. It has a really good full sound. The bass is good. It's solid. It still hits hard. It's not overpowering or anything like that. There's not much separation when it comes in the instruments or anything like that. I mean, I don't think you would expect it to be unless they were like, professional monitors or something like that. But still, the overall sound was very good. I was very pleased. They were good for all different types of genres of music. I think mostly they shine the best when it comes to, more popular music, like things like, hip hop or rock, alternative, things like that. But even with listening to jazz, classical, symphony, Latin music, I listen to all the different types of genres of music when I test my headphones. Even for those genres, they still sounded really good, and they especially sounded really good watching movies as well. I used them for watching a couple different movies, like on Netflix and things like that. Man, they were a really, really, really good experience I had with them. So I definitely recommend you guys checking them out. Like I said, the sound leakage is really good as well. Like I tested those out, and people around me weren't able to hear even when I had them fully cranked up. And I think that's mostly because of the velour pads on them. Do a really good job of isolating the sound and keeping it in your ears, even while at the same time being very comfortable on your head. So overall, my impressions of the Urbanite XL Wireless is very positive. I definitely recommend you guys checking them out. $300 is quite a bit of money for a pair of headphones, but considering the fact that they are wireless and Bluetooth, that does lend to the to the thought that maybe they are something that you could easily make an exception to purchase a pair of headphones at that price point. When it comes to $300, I usually only like to recommend headphones that I think sound decent and good, and the build quality is there. So with this pair of headphones, I think they're built very nicely. They use good materials. I don't get the impression that they would break apart or start to fall apart very early or in a short period of time. So I definitely recommend you guys go check them out. So if you have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, please post them down below. I read each and every single one of all of my comments on all of my videos, and I will always do my best to get back to you as quick as possible. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you want to stay up to date with all of my content, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. And as always, guys, make sure you stop by geeksterlabs.com for the latest in tech news and video reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video review.